All right, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Started a little later today, sorry about that, but it's all good. I just had to get some things set up, new things set up today, so hopefully the stream will look a little bit better today. We'll try to see if it works. But I guess this week of streams will be a little test to see what happens. So it looks like I'm still getting some issues. Encoding overloaded. Yeah, anyway. How's everybody doing? Thanks everybody for joining. So check it out. We're going to get into some critiques here very quickly, very soon. Just want to get a few more viewers here. Make sure everybody's tuning in. So, all right, everybody's leaving now. Everybody saw me, so everybody's leaving. Okay, cool. Perfect. All right, well, let's see if this works. We have a lot of stuff to get through, so I'm gonna only be able to spend about 3 to 4 minutes on each one. So I'm gonna try to stick to that. So let's do this. Let's do it. Let's see. All right. So it looks like we're good here. So check it out. Oops. Didn't know I had sound on this thing. Just trying to keep a timer going. All right. So check it out. This person sent in 2 pieces. So I thought it'd be cool to just check them out real quick. Normally I only did 1 per person, but some people sent in 2, and you know, if they were completely different or something, then we can just check them out real quick together, look at both of them. So obviously this isn't really my kind of art, you know, it's not stuff that I create like this, so it's kind of hard for me to critique this, but I do think it's pretty cool. Yeah, I like the different colored outlines on some of the characters. You know, I'm not sure about the character in the middle, the black. I'm not really sure what that's about, but it's a little dark to me. As far as like, you know, it looks like reversed. You know, it's one of those reverse things. But you know, I'm digging the colors. I like the pastels. I think it looks cool. It almost has like a midnight gospel kind of feel to it. That show that just came out recently. I haven't watched that show, but I've seen clips from it. And that's the first thing I thought of when I saw this. Just gives like an interesting vibe. But this other one's pretty nice. So this is a digital painting, obviously. So yeah, a lot of softness with this one. Almost, maybe, dare I say, too much softness. You know, that's the problem. That's one thing with digital art that's tricky, is like you can end up getting like, you get this blurry effect sometimes. Like instead of like softness, like the face looks pretty good. You do have some hard edges here, which are nice, but it's almost like digital art sometimes it gives that appearance of like it's too blurry. I feel like you need like some more sharp lines somewhere on the face, like just slightly to bring our attention here, because I'm actually being more drawn to the line of the neck and the face, because that's where the sharper lines are and more contrast is. So if you just brought a little bit of that into the face slightly, you know, I don't know, I'm guessing here, maybe soften up some of this down here, make the face just a little bit more sharp. I mean, normally the face you want soft, you want things to be soft, but if you just had a little tiny bit of softness there, because it almost just with the way digital painting works, sometimes it just looks like it's out of focus rather than being soft. So yeah, I mean, but these are pretty cool, man. They're totally different. So definitely interesting style, interesting use of colors. This is pretty cool. I like the color scheme. I like the person is warm and the rest of the thing is cool colored, you know, greens and oranges and stuff. So It's definitely interesting in that manner because you have this temperature contrast. So, and the person really sticks out from that. And I like the silhouette and everything. I mean, overall, really cool, really cool. I'm not really sure exactly what the background is, like electricity, a brain. You know, I'm not exactly sure. So, but whatever it is, it's interesting. It gives a nice silhouette to everything. But anyway, let's move on to the next here in a second. So, all right. So let's check out the chat real quick. What's everybody saying? What are you going to do? Well, the title of this one is critiquing art from subscribers. So that's what I'm doing. Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Try short videos instead of live stream, man. I got like 800 short videos, so you can go check out some of them if you want. I do have other short videos. I just made a short video like 2 days ago, so maybe you should go check that one out too. I mean, like, you can't please everybody, so. If you don't want to watch a live stream, then don't watch. Go click something else. What's going on, Nathan? Thanks for tuning in, man. All right, let's check it out. This is from Deborah. I believe she watches the stream at least the last few days, last week. So this is pretty cool. This looks like charcoal. So let me start this timer here so I can stay consistent here. Don't want to get lost. We'll spend a lot of time. So we got like 14 or 15 submissions. So, you know, spending 5 minutes on each one, it's easily an hour. So just got to be, you know, a little strict here with the time limit. Anyway, this is pretty cool, man. I love the subject matter, the owl. You got the contrast, nice contrast around the face, softness on a lot of it. You know, it's usually pretty easy to do with charcoal for the most part. You know, you can get softness. I like the use of your values. That's usually a little bit difficult with charcoal because everything tends to easily get too dark, and it's hard to get kind of like midtones, at least from my experience. It's very, like, charcoal is known to be like very tough to control. So it seems you have a good amount of control here with what you're doing. So that's cool. I like how there's more contrast around the head, and it's like lighter areas around the head along with darker areas. The only thing that sticks out to me as like something to maybe work on for future pieces, or to just work on this one possibly, the foot down here. The foot down here, maybe this one too a little bit. It just looks a little unfinished or cartoony in a way. I feel like you just need to soften some of the edges down there. You know, because it kind of brings attention down there. And maybe just finish a little bit of what it's standing on, just to give more context to what's happening down there. But overall, it's actually really good. I'm just kind of nitpicking it, but yeah, I would just like completely soften that, like, and maybe play around with. Here's something you could actually play around with in the future, is to just soften edges completely. Like try to you know, that's gonna be way too much. You know, like maybe just play around with softening edges a bit more, like completely lose some of the edges to the background. You know, maybe like back here you kind of did right there, like kind of just lose that edge. You know, it doesn't have to be very dramatic, doesn't have to be very large edges, just very small areas to just, you know, you have some softness here, which is nice. So just try to push that a little bit more. I see you have some lost edges on the top. So that's cool, but overall, like sometimes it feels a little too sharp all the way around. Like try to push it a bit more and just see like, man, how soft can you make some things, and really try to bring the focal point to the face you know, soften some of this on the leg down here, soften some of this, like stuff that isn't really necessary as the focal point. I don't know, just an idea, you know. That's, of course, that ties into style and everything. You know, some people don't like softening so much, and some people soften a whole lot. But I feel like you do have a somewhat tight style, but it does seem loose enough to where you could play around with just softening some things a little bit more, smudging some things, and I don't know, play around with getting some more interesting effects. See what you can do. So yeah, it looks like we're having a battle of are the live streams better or not? Someone says I enjoy live streams more. Well, thanks, I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, they're cool. Live streams are good. Yeah, this owl is really great, man. This owl is really good. You know, I just play around. It almost looks like the bottom's not finished, which is fine actually, because we don't want to be looking down there anyway. We don't need a whole bunch of detail down by the foot. The problem I have with it is that it just looks unfinished in a way that's like cartoony or something. It's almost like if you're gonna have it unfinished like that, you should just like smudge it, just blur it a bit more, like kind of like it looks like he's standing on a branch or something that's really smudged. Just smudge the foot into that branch, because it feels like the owl feels like it's not a part of what it's sitting on. It feels like it's separate from that, if that makes sense. Man, it looks like I'm dropping frames. I gotta figure that out. Okay. All right. All right. So yeah, great work. Thanks for sending this in. Let's get to the next one. So this one's definitely an interesting style. I mean, definitely different than things that I'm used to seeing and things that I paint myself. So it's hard for me to really critique something like this because it seems so so personal in a way. It seems like you're evoking some kind of emotion, some kind of feeling. It looks like this tree actually in the middle, the top, this person here or whatever this figure is being plugged into the tree. So I mean, definitely an interesting concept. There's definitely some things going on here that I may not understand or fully. It looks like there's a branch coming across the middle that may be wrapping around them, tying them together. So, and there's some flowers over here growing. I like the limited use of your colors. Really interesting colors. I like the application of paint, very thick kind of paint application. Obviously it's not meant to be realistic, and I don't think that's why you painted this. Like I said, it's a different style, different. You're going for more of emotional, feeling and expression, which is cool. It's definitely cool. The idea of people getting plugged into a tree, like being plugged into nature. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, just with that small little part there, I mean, there's a lot that really changes the whole idea of when you first look at this painting of what you think it's about. You think like, oh, it's like two people dancing or something in nature. And then you look more closely and you're like, oh, okay, they're like being powered by nature in a way, powered by this tree. I mean, really interesting. I'm not sure I have much more to say about that. What do you guys think about this one? Frames are actually better today than yesterday. Yeah. It says I'm still dropping frames though a lot, 2.5%. I've never really paid attention to that until now. Trying to make these streams more smooth. I'm plugged in directly to the Ethernet today. See if that helps. Doesn't seem like it's really helping as much, but I'm also not doing as much. I don't have that other camera plugged in. I'm not moving that brush or everything. I always watch the replays, and the replays are very stuttery, so I want to try to fix that, but I don't know if I can. I think it's either my laptop and my internet connection, or it's both, or it's just my internet connection. I may have to start streaming at 720p rather than 1080, unfortunately, just so that there could be better quality here, because it just doesn't seem like it's working out for some reason. Hey Deborah, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I just went over your owl. You'll have to watch the replay, unfortunately. Oh man, I'm so sorry. If I would have known, I would have waited, but I was just doing these in alphabetical order, how I name them. But anyway, guys. So yeah, this one's pretty cool. Gonna move on to the next one. Nathan says this one has a very surrealistic feel to him. Yeah, I agree. Paintings are meant to evoke feeling, whether good or bad. The use of color is nice. Yeah, exactly. You know, it's not always about how realistic something is. It's how it makes you feel in a way. Painting from imagination, yep. Has a bit of stained glass effect to it. Yeah, the way that it has those outlines and stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting. Definitely really interesting. And they went with more subdued colors rather than super bright colors, so that's also cool too. All right, let's check it out. This next one, this is the reference photo, and someone did a plein air of this skull, which is right here from a different angle, slightly different angle. So I really like this. I mean, looking back at the reference photo, we can see there was a bit more color added than what was there, which is pretty cool. You know, I actually enjoy the color scheme that you had going on here. You know, I like the slight grayish greens on the side, the purple in the shadows, and then kind of the golden ochre tones to it, and the browns. I mean, it works really well. It's very earthy. It seems like you captured it pretty well in such a small format. We can see this is pretty small, so it's definitely, I've done a lot of small paintings like that over the last few years, so I know how difficult I know how difficult it is to paint this small, for sure. So yeah. Anyway, the only thing I could say, you know, it's hard to tell from this photo. You know, maybe the drawing is slightly off. Maybe the skull needs to be a little bit longer. But, you know, it's hard for me to really judge that from this. I think the drawing overall is done pretty well. You know, that you got the curve of the horns and stuff in there. The values are pretty nice. A lot of shading and stuff. I mean, you get the idea of what it is and what you were capturing. And you definitely used some color there. A little bit more color, but you still kept it subdued to evoke a little more feeling there. So yeah, overall, I mean, it's pretty nice. All right, what do you guys think about this one? I'm trying to think of anything I missed. You know, edges. I mean, you did lose some edges over here, which is good. You know, which is cool. You know, a little bit of lost edge there in the center, and you find the edge again down here, found edge up here. So there is some interest going on here. I like that. Maybe some more of this could have been a bit softer. You know, maybe lost the edge around the eye somewhere a little bit more, or you know, maybe the horn. See how it's dark? You have a dark line around the horn here. Maybe blend that into the skull a bit more. Let's take a look at. Yeah. if you kind of squint at the reference photo, the horn kind of gets lost. It's very similar values from the horn to the skull, so maybe losing that edge a bit more, you know, getting rid of some of that darkness, just so it looks like it's growing out of, you know, it's like fused, like it's a part of that thing. Because right now it just seems like it's outlined a bit. So I'm nitpicking here, by the way, so this isn't bad or anything like that. I'm just thinking of what I would do in this situation, and I think like getting rid of some of that darkness there and just blending it a bit more into the skull to make it look like it's growing from that skull, like it's more of a part of that skull. What's going on, Rodrigo? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, the melting of colors is really nice. Yeah, it's true. Like everything, it's you have really nice gradients, very nice blends of color, no doubt. Really, really cool. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, let's check it out. Got a really nice, I think this is graphite. Of an eye. This was drawn from a tutorial that they told me. This was drawn from a tutorial online, so pretty cool, man. It actually came out really well. Pretty realistic. You know, you have subtle shadowing here of the eye, showing that it's a three-dimensional. You know, the eye is really like a ball. It's a sphere. So the fact that you have like shading down here and you have shading down here, and you know, shading towards this edge, and it gets lighter and lighter towards the middle of the eye, you know, showing that it's spherical. That's pretty nice. I feel like some of the eyelashes, I feel like you could lengthen just a few of them, just slightly. You do have that in some places, you have them lengthened, but I feel like more towards this edge over here, maybe just making some a little bit longer. It seems like they got like a haircut almost or something, which maybe that's how they really are. I don't know, but I'm just looking at it in terms of like what would make it a little bit more interesting, possibly. But not bad, really not bad. For me, I'm trying to think. I feel like these little lines in this reflection, I feel like I would lighten those up a bit. That's just me. You know, it may not have been that way in the tutorial or in like a photo reference or anything, but I feel like, let me just see what they look like. Yeah, I think if you lighten them up just slightly like that, if you see what I did there, it just gives the illusion that they're in a reflection a bit more. Plus they're in a light shape, so really thin black lines like that in a light shape, they're gonna appear lighter than the actual, you know, than what you think they're going to be. And maybe the only other thing I would do personally, maybe darken up some of this over here just to push it back a bit and not distract from the rest of the eye. Something like that. I mean, just really subtle things, nothing too crazy. Because see, without that stuff, it's kind of distracting. So I think if you just push that back a little bit, might help. And soften some of, you know, you have like a dark line outline around this whole thing, so maybe just like try to soften some of this stuff, like blend it out in a way, like smudge it together, just to bring more focus to the center of the eye. See what I mean? Something like that. Nothing too crazy. Nathan says darker darks. Yeah, possibly. I mean, it depends on what pencils he has, you know. what camera he took this photo with. It could be darker in real life. You know, it does look pretty black, you know, in the middle of the eye. He may not have a full range of pencils and stuff, but yeah, I mean, the blacks do look pretty dark. But yeah, good work, man. I mean, it's not bad. It's really not bad at all. You obviously have some skill and stuff, so just keep drawing, keep working at it, and just play around with softening things a bit more, possibly. You know, you did soften around the eye, like the skin and everything, so maybe just bringing more of that softness you have, like, into some of the eyelashes. You know, they don't all have to be super defined, like, you know, especially the ones around towards the outer edge of the eye. You know, just soften those, like, because those aren't important out there, you know, like those are just, they're far away from the focal point. So just bringing more softness in or something, just something to play around with, you know, darkening some of this slightly, just to bring more of a spherical shape to the eye. But yeah, pretty much. Thanks for sending that in though. Good work. So let's go to the next one. So this is a pastel, I believe. Pastel. Yep, hope that was helpful. Just catching up on the chat here, guys. Don't know if I missed anything. Okay, didn't miss much. Didn't miss anything. All right. Okay, so let me think. Let me think here. So pastels are pretty challenging. So this looks pretty good. I like the softness you got, the edges. You got a lot of, I mean, you definitely see a difference from the edge of the fur to the ears, a little bit sharper. You got some nice contrast on the ear, sharpness around the face, the nose and stuff. More contrast as well around the face, and softness as you get to the edge. So that looks pretty realistic, pretty good. You know, it's hard for me to critique the drawing at all because I don't have the reference photo. You know, overall the drawing's pretty nice. You know, the eyes, when I look at the eyes and the whole face as a whole, I can't see anything that's wrong. Like the cat, you know, he doesn't look cross-eyed, doesn't look off a little bit. You know, you got your pupils parallel, you know, the same angle. You know, everything looks pretty good that way. I mean, you have really dark, so I don't know if you could really push the contrast at all, since given the actual fur of the cat or animal. So that seems like that's on point. I feel like maybe the hairs of on top of the eyes, the eyebrows, the hairs of the ear, and the whiskers, I feel like maybe some of those could be you know, defined a bit more in a way. Like maybe, you know, just a few that are more crisp, sharp. Just have a little bit of variety, and maybe slightly in different directions as well. Because if you look at the whiskers, the eyebrows, and the ear hair, they're all parallel to one another. So can you guys see that? They're all kind of going the exact same angle, which maybe they really do in real life. Maybe they really are. And maybe that's important for capturing the likeness of this cat. But just from a design standpoint, or like, you know, an artistic standpoint, maybe have some of the whiskers kind of like coming up at a different angle or down at a different angle, or maybe having the one eyebrow hair going up at an angle, or maybe the ear hair, like whatever is less important, and maybe it's the ear hair that's less important, maybe having that more at a different angle, just slightly. But like I said, I'm nitpicking here. Hey, thanks for becoming a supporter, Misty. Greatly appreciate it. But yeah, there's not a whole lot I can say about this one as far as critiquing it. I mean, it's done really well, I think. I mean, you have soft edges, you have sharp edges, you have contrast. You know, maybe around the eye, maybe around this eye here, it could have been, you could have lost the edge a little bit instead of having like a line around it all the way. You know, maybe just like over here, you kind of lost the edge a bit, which is good, is nice, looks real nice. Maybe doing something similar with this eye, just on one part of the edge somewhere. But, and maybe losing some kind of edge on the nose partially or something. But, you know, other than that, I'm not too mad at this at all, man. It's pretty nice. Well, anyway, let's move on to the next one. Thanks for sending this in. Greatly appreciate it. So this is a brush pen artwork, which is pretty cool. Definitely different. Yeah, definitely different, because when we look at this, it's on a white sheet of paper. So the way you did the sky with filling it all in like that and leaving like outlines behind these trees and around the UFO and stuff, that's really cool. Super cool. The only thing that, okay, I kind of get what's going on here now. Okay, so you have trees in the background. They look like trees, very natural looking. But then the ones here in the middle, they're being distorted by, it's very hard to see. And I think that's one thing I'm going to tell you that I would change. So you have a line being drawn down from the UFO. It's like a, you know, like a UFO laser thing on the ground. So I would try to make that line a bit more distinct. I probably would have left a little bit white there. And maybe that's something you didn't realize till after you filled it in the sky, that you should have left a little bit of like white there to show like, and maybe this whole section of the sky, I would have had it been like, I would have tried to make either it lighter or have some kind of like lines all the way, oops. Try to make them go with the flow of this UFO thingy. Just so that it distorts the sky as well, because you have it distorting the trees but not the sky. So I feel like the sky should be a different value. So it should be lighter. And that would give us more of an idea. I mean, what I did looks really dumb, but hopefully you get the idea of like, it should have been like maybe a lighter value somehow, like hash marks instead of the solid black. And we get the idea that the UFO is like drawing something down on the ground. It's like sucking something up. But I like the effects you have there, distorting the trees in the background. That's really cool. But it kind of gets lost just a little bit. And maybe all you needed was those lines on the side here coming down, just to give a little more continuity to the idea of what's happening. But it's a really cool idea. I mean, it's really cool. I like how you did the sky and with the brush pen and everything. Everything looks very natural. I like how you have the grass up here in the foreground. Thanks for the donation, Ivan. 50MX. I'm not sure what MX is, but greatly appreciate it. Thank you for that. So that's about 220 US. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it. Yeah, I'm not sure what is going on with the live streams lately. I'm directly plugged into the Ethernet. So I'm not even relying on Wi-Fi. So, guys, I'm not really sure. I think the next few streams I'm gonna test streaming down to 720p, because that might help. You know, maybe I need more of a delay. Maybe I need to have like a 15-second delay or something. I don't really know what to do. I've been reading up, but it seems I need to read up a little bit more. So I apologize for the whole streaming quality. I'm not sure what the problem is. I literally have nothing else open on my laptop that doesn't need to be open. Anyway, I like the depth you have in here. I like the whole concept. Everything's pretty cool. Let's move on to the next one. Thanks for sending that in. So this is a small one. It's just a portion of a birch tree. Not much to say about it. I mean, I like the texture you got with the pin. I think it's pin. I mean, it looks really cool. I would just like to see more of it finished, pretty much. You know, I like the shading you got on it, the marks, the texture. It's really cool technique. But thanks for sending it in. But just keep going with it, man. Keep going with it and try to finish it. But thanks for sending it in. It's not that bad today. Honestly, it's not unwatchable. Well, I don't want it to be not unwatchable. I want it to be good quality and watchable. You know, I don't want it to be just not unwatchable. Oh gosh, I know what you're saying though, but all right. So this is I really like this. It looks like watercolor, I believe. Really fun, really free, loose. Colorful. You got some depth in there. You lost the figures into the ground. That's good. You know, not too detailed. I mean, really cool. Really cool. I'm trying to think of something I don't like about it, and you know, I love the variety of colors and stuff. I wish I could get more colors like this into my work. It's really cool. I love the brushwork, very loose. I love the splattering. It just adds a whole nother element to it of like texture and color. I love you got the person off in the background over here. I mean, that just gives so much context to the rest of this, having that person way back there and just more solid colors. Yeah. Super cool. I mean, you have the heads here all on the same plane almost, like same line. So that's good. That's usually what you want to do. Everybody's head, no matter where they are, should be pretty much on the same line, like eye level, for the most part. At least if the ground is flat, you know. So that's good. You nailed that. Yeah, I love how you have the bottom of the page like not painted. So it kind of gives this triangular effect, like spreading out, like our vision is just like opening up. Yeah, it's really cool. It's very loose, very nice. The figures are not too like rendered too much, not too stiff, not too you have a lot of lost edges everywhere. The colors are interesting. I feel like the light, the only thing that bothers me is I'm not sure I'm just not sure where the light is coming from, you know, as far as, you know, this patch of lime green up here kind of sticks out to me, because around it you have like all these darker browns and darker greens, and you have this light patch of green. That's the only thing, now that I see that, it's like my eye almost doesn't go anywhere else. So I'm not sure why that's there. I feel like you either need to kill that spot a little bit, you know, tone it down. I mean, that's really the only thing you could do. You can't really add more of that bright color anywhere. I love the color of the umbrella. I think that's an umbrella over those people. But yeah, I feel a little confused about where the light's coming from, because there's like, it seems like there's shadow here on this person and shadow on their face, but I don't see anything kind of like casting that shadow. The background, this guy looks like he's in full sunlight. Yeah, the lighting here is just a little weird to me. I'm just trying to decipher what's going on. I mean, I see some shadows underneath the umbrella here. Dark shadows over here, but then shadows here. So that's the only thing that like I could say that bothers me, but I'm not really bothered by it still. I think it's still pretty cool. Gray watercolor. I love the calligraphy, the line work, the little black lines and stuff. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's very different. So thanks for sending that in. Greatly appreciate it. I hope I helped a little bit. Anyway, move on to the next one. So these are Nathan's. Nathan sent in 2, so we'll take a look at both of them real quick here. I feel like I'm not even allowed to critique these because what do I know, man? Look at this dude. Come on, Nathan, man. This stuff is awesome, dude. I can't critique this. But thank you for the donation, Courtney. $5. Thank you for that so much. Greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. Hope you're finding this helpful. I want to get the quality of my streaming better, so I'm going to keep working on that. Vignetting. Okay, so for that last watercolor, there was some vignetting going on, and the green was a mistake. All right, understood. No worries. But I think that green at the top, you could wash over that with some of that brown or dark green, and it'll be fine. It's no worries there. But yeah, this is probably my favorite one from Nathan here. I love this one too. I love the cool greens, the reflected light, the warm light hitting that edge, you know, the left side. I love the plane, you know, the angles of all the leaves and stuff. The light coming through, little light spots coming through. And even in the background here, it looks like you have some softer stuff going on. Soft, you know, it's, what can I say, man? It's incredible work. I mean, definitely a different style than what I do, but I can still like really like this kind of work and appreciate it. Like the amount of time you put into this kind of stuff, because I see your work in progress photos on Instagram all the time and stuff, and I'm like, man, this dude has like so much patience to put in that much time and really make it look, you know, this good. Yeah, really remarkable. For me, the only thing, like for me, if I'm really just gonna give my opinion on it, I would love to just see more softer edges on some of the leaves and stuff. And obviously that's just a style thing. It has nothing to do with your work or whatever, but you know, I feel like some of the leaves, like I would just like to see like lost edges and stuff, but like it's just, I don't know that it really fits that style to do that, you know. Because when you stand back and look at this, it's just like, man, you know, there's really not much, you know, I don't even know if that would help at all or anything, but it could maybe, you know, like this leaf back here, like in the darkness, like I feel like you could soften some of those edges, like at least lose some of the edges, and it would just push it back a bit more slightly, or at least like change the focal, you know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, I love it, man. I love the colors. I love the warms and the cools. That's the only thing for me. Like if I was painting this, I would just be like, man, I want like some softer stuff, maybe towards the edges, or stuff in the background, or you know, just stuff like that. But with this one, you did get some softness here. You did. I love this one, man. This is my favorite one that I've seen from you. I love the colors, like that turquoise viridian type of colors, and you have like some browns in the foreground, and then you continue that brown throughout on the ceramic and stuff on the edges, and then you have some ochre color in there, that golden ochre, and then you have the purple shadows in there. I mean, the beautiful harmony against all this gray, the sea of gray, you know, slight gray in the, I mean, just the subtlety of colors here, like slight little bit of purple, gray, and golden ochre, like, and there's no hard lines or anything, and it's so smooth, like, I don't know, like, I don't know, man. I don't know how you could, I don't know. I don't know how to do that. I definitely need more practice, but just the form you're able to capture here, like this, like the way you do the shadowing all the way up the form like that. I mean, it's just, it's nuts, dude. It's pretty nuts. And all that little attention to detail and stuff. And I like how you even though this is like a scene that's on a table, you're able to get so much depth into this piece just by lightening up the background back here and really like fading it into this, like, it almost looks like, it gives the illusion of like it's fading into this mist in this room or something. Like, it's so cool. And you have the background is so smooth as well. And you lost a little bit of edge right there. I mean, it's beautiful, man. There's just like such subtlety in what you achieved here. Man, I don't know how you do it, dude. Yeah, and I love the little bits of like gold or whatever around the edges and stuff. Yeah, and just that little bit of purple, man. That little bit of purple shadows everywhere, reflected light, purples just bouncing around everywhere. Like that makes the whole thing. I feel like if you didn't have that purple in there, or that magenta, slight magenta-y purple, I don't know if it'd be as good as it looks to me. I mean, it'd still be really good, but I just love that little bit of purple you have there. Like the color scheme is really beautiful. That appeals to me a lot. So yeah, great work, man. This is like really great stuff. Thanks for sending this in. Definitely inspiring all of us to keep pushing and to up our quality. So yeah, man, really really great work. You just put all of my live streams, all of my paintings to shame. So like, I guess I'm gonna quit now. All right, looks like we got some baby birds here. Maybe they look like they are. So some of those paintings from Nathan was over 50 hours of work. Yeah, I mean, crazy, dude. That's crazy. $50 hours. Like, I get bored after spending 1 hour on a watercolor. Maybe you do a little bit larger than mine too. You know, I do like 9x12, so they're pretty small. But I get bored after 1 hour, dude. I want to do something else. And you spent 50 hours on that? That's crazy, man. I hope I gave some good feedback. You know, I feel like the teacup one. I mean, like, I don't know that there's anything I would mess with that one. Like that one's just on point. But I just feel like the leaves, sometimes it just looks a little too sharp everywhere. But the cool thing about that is when you have everything the same sharpness like that, or it's very similar sharpness, it can work. you know, it's not a big deal. Because you're showing like, you know, it's just like really a snapshot of a tree. Like it's really cool. Yeah, really great work. Really great work, man. Thanks for sending that in. So here we have some birds. Pretty cool, man. I like the different, looks like you have different size of pins. So you have the darker, larger pin, and then on the head you have a smaller, thinner, not as dark pin. So that's cool. I like the contrast there. I like the texture. I like the lights. You got the white pin. The drawing's really nice. I love this, like, it must be like a wing sticking out, like part of a wing. It's really cool. It really balances out the whole composition of the two birds, like leaning this way, you know, leaning to the left, and then you have this like this wing or whatever, like just pointing out to the right. Yeah, it's very interesting. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. It looks like it's like two birds perched on some kind of post or something. Yeah, I mean, I love the action that's going on. Them like, you know, being wait to be fed. Um, hmm. You know, in the outline, you do have different variety of outline here. So thinner here and then thicker here. Thinner stuff here, thicker there, thinner on the head. You know, you have a good contrast. Obviously the focal point's up here, so I mean, it's pretty cool little sketch, man. I'm not sure there's anything I can really say about it. I feel like some of the texture here gets a little, maybe not. It looks pretty good. It looks really uniform. I thought maybe it looks a little repetitive, but it doesn't look too bad actually. When you look at the whole thing, I mean, it looks pretty realistic. So yeah, definitely great work. Thanks for sending this in. Not a whole lot I can really critique on it. I love the use of the midtones, the black and the white, you know. It's drawn really well. And I love the balance of the composition and everything, and the action that's going on, and this kind of the story you're telling with it. It's pretty cool. What do you guys think of this one? All right, so we got a graphite portrait here. The paper looks really interesting. Really interesting texture going on the paper. It almost gives the illusion like that it's gessoed or something. Or maybe it's just the lighting on the paper or something. It's pretty cool though. I like that. It definitely gives a different feel to the whole drawing. But let's look at the drawing itself. Good use of values. It looks like you know, I'm guessing here, because all I have is this photo to go from. It looks like you only have one kind of pencil. And if that's the case, then I think you got pretty good range of values for that one pencil. You know, when you look at shadows on the mouth here, the eyelashes, the eyebrows, pretty good range of values. I like the subtlety. You got real subtle shading around the whole face and the neck here. I can see you kind of like we're gradually shading some of this soft, subtle values down here under the neck. So you definitely have a good sense of like subtlety. It seems like you should invest in a set of drawing pencils, because I think you could really push this a bit more. I mean, you'd only need like one or two more pencils, you know, like a 3B. You don't have to get super dark, of course. You don't always have to go to black and be really, really dark. You know, you don't need an 8 or 9B. You could just get a 3 or 4B and get some pretty darks in there. and keep this really high contrast, this really high, you know, white paper, and just go a little bit darker around the eyes, the eyebrows, maybe underneath the nose or something, and that would really bring this thing to life, give it a bit more form. But I definitely like the subtlety, and I like how you stuck with, around the face at least, you stuck with this one direction of shading. It's pretty cool. It shows that you're just working on the form, and you kept it all pretty uniform the way you shaded, so it looks really pleasing. Yeah, you have a really good form on the cheeks here and stuff. The only thing I'm concerned about is, and this is just my personal opinion, the line on the mouth here. I would really, you know, if you're drawing someone else, I would kind of tone that down a bit. And I know that maybe that's how it really is in the photo and stuff, but especially like on a woman, if when you draw really dark lines on the mouth like that, it really ages them. Even if that's how the photo actually is, it can make them look older. So you just gotta be careful about that. So I would just kind of lighten up some of that shadows and soften some of the lines. Just kind of tone that down a little bit, you know. You kind of want to flatter people a bit sometimes if you can in some way. Because it's probably better to be a little more subtle with things like that, especially like lines under the eyes, lines on the mouth, or lines on the cheek or something. It's better to just be more subtle about it and not overdo it, because if you do it, if you draw it the way you see it, then it might look like it's overdone. So just something to think about. It's not a strict rule or anything, just something to consider. But overall, the drawing is done really well. The proportions look good. The eyes look, you know, spaced correctly. Everything, you know, the angles of the mouth to the nose and the eyes, the eyebrows, everything looks pretty good, on point. The ears pretty nice. The hair, you got, you know, that may be a part that looks a little bit flat here, is the hair. Possibly just in this region, it just starts looking a bit flat, like you kind of lost some form there. Slightly, and that may just be because you have like this dark outline around the whole head, so maybe losing some of that possibly, or darkening up some of this in the back or something, you know, I don't know, but not bad, definitely not bad. The hand looks a little, I don't know if it's just the angle that the hand is at and what we're seeing of it. The hand looks a little funny to me. It doesn't look very natural. Like I think you probably could have just left the hand out altogether, but that's another topic as well. It's another issue. There's something about it, the way that the hand is just like placed. It just looks like it's like she's in the middle of a movement, or it looks too small or something, or just something just looks a little off with it. But I don't have the reference photo. I don't know what you were drawing, so it's hard for me to tell. But just from what I'm seeing, it just looks a little off. You could just leave it out, to be honest. But since it's already there, just leave it. It's fine, not a big deal. The focus is the head anyway, and the face, and you got it pretty on point. I would maybe soften this line around the lips too. What I mean by that is I would just lighten up. So let me see if I can do this. You know, just slightly lighten up one area. Let me see. I can find a lighter. Just slightly lighten up. Just add variety to that lip there. See that? So just lighten up some of the edges so that you don't have a strict outline all the way around the lips. Lips are usually very soft, like the edges of the lips. So just be aware of that. Be careful of edges. Other than that, let's go to the next one. I'm going to keep talking way too much. All right, let's check it out. We got a bird here. Just taking a second to look at it here. I do like this. I like this. I like the texture around the head and on the stomach area. I like that. It looks very realistic, very soft. I like the contrast. The beak's real nice, the darkness on the beak. You know, my eye definitely goes to the head and the beak. I'm not really sure what kind of bird this is. I think you live in Australia, right? Okay, so this is just HB pencil and printer paper because that's all they had with them. No worries, I understand. So it looks pretty good for just using one pencil. I was gonna say it looks like you used one pencil. Like it's usually really easy to tell when someone uses one pencil. But you did get a good range of values here, given that fact. A lot of subtlety. You know, I almost feel like the beak is like too sharp or too dark or something, but that, disregard that because I don't know what this actual bird looks like. I'm just drawn to that beak because there's so much contrast there and it's so sharp. And maybe that's how it really is. Maybe that's how it should be. So disregard that if I'm wrong about that. You know, I would want more contrast right at the eye and the head to be a bit darker. But it's pretty good. It's really good, actually. I like the softness all the way around. You know, I think you could have lost some of the lines here a bit more, possibly. Just play around with it. You know, because you have a lot of softness on the head and stuff around here, and I feel like some of the tail feathers and stuff back here, and maybe the wing. I know the wing is usually pretty sharp, so maybe that's okay having that sharp, but maybe once you get down to these tail feathers, maybe just like soften some of those. And you kind of did a little bit there. You have them softened. I'm just nitpicking now, of course, because I do like the softness around the head. Like the head looks very realistic, like the texture and everything you got. And then it seems like once you get to the wing, like once we get to this part of the wing, it starts looking, it just looks a little stiff compared to the head and the rest of it, if that makes sense. Like I feel like you just needed a little more variety, a little more softness, even though that may not have been the case on the photo or whatever. But I think just pushing that softness a bit more, just so that it fits more in with the whole. Basically what I'm trying to say is I think it would look a little more natural, possibly. Like I said, I have no idea. I'm just making this up, but you know, just like losing some of these, you know, just playing around, adding, you know, just losing softness, making things a bit softer here and there. Especially maybe this line of the wing here, like maybe thinning it up or thickening it up a bit more in some places, just subtly. Yeah. I really like the feet. The feet are drawn well, the legs and the feet, really natural looking. You know, you do have some lost edges down there. That's pretty good. I like the texture of this wood thing. I like that it's not too detailed. You know, the focus is more on the bird, so that's pretty good. But yeah, this whole like first half of the bird looks very realistic, like the head and everything. Like that's really cool. I just feel like the wing, something there, it looks a little bit flat, like we lost some form, and it looks too stiff or something. You know, I think like these lines and stuff, we lose the volume of the bird almost a little bit, if that makes sense, I hope. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty good. It's really good. Really great work. Definitely keep up the drawing, have some fun with it, and use that HB pencil to death, man. You're definitely doing it. You're definitely doing it. So Good work. This was your first attempt at a bird, so not bad for that. Not bad for your first attempt, that's for sure. Really great work. All right, we're going to the last one here, folks. Last one. So check this out. Pretty simple here. Not much that I can really critique, to be honest. But I do like the use of color. Use of color is really cool. The style is interesting. I'd like to see more in this style. You know, like more something. You know, other subjects and stuff. Hey Andy, thank you for the $2. He says, how you doing, Brandon? I'm doing pretty well. I'm just chilling. I'm here. Just trying to make these streams better and better quality and critiquing some work here, man. I'm doing good. How are you? How's everything going? So A Yami says, I struggle with the larger feathers on the bird, so the whole wing and tail I found hard. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know what you mean. I could tell. But you handled it pretty well, though. I mean, it's not a bad effort. I'm not saying it's bad at all or anything. It's just those are just areas that it could be improved slightly, hopefully. And but overall, I mean, really great work. So yeah, this one's pretty interesting. I mean, definitely, I like the use of the warm colors on one side, cool colors on the other side. You know, it's kind of a flat style of art. You know, it looks like color pencil maybe, or I'm not even sure really. It looks like it's outlined with marker. Maybe that's not colored pencil. What would that be? Anyway, I'm not sure what it is, but looks pretty cool. But anyway, I don't really have much to say about it, to be honest. What do you guys think of this one? But anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. You know, thanks for sending these in. You know, there's not much I can really critique on this one. The drawing as well, the symmetry, you got the symmetry down really well. Usually that's pretty difficult to achieve, making things look very symmetrical, and I think you did it pretty well. So as far as the drawing, it's pretty nice. I'd like to see more subjects with this style and see like what you're trying to achieve with this, or I mean, you got me intrigued. I'm trying to figure out what it means. You know, what are you saying with these few lines of color? What's the story here? What's the purpose? What's the story? What's the meaning? What are you trying to convey? You know, two different perspectives. You know, blue side, warm side, cool side, warm side. It's very different. It's very interesting. You stumped me because I'm speechless. I'm not really sure what to say. Nathan says it would make a great t-shirt design. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I could see that being on a t-shirt. Yeah, no doubt. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching this one. If you want to send me art in the future, you can check out my website, SchaeferFineArt.com. If you click that little envelope when you get to my website, or click my contact, my email is on there. It's info@SchaeferFineArt.com. So you can send me art there, and I do these critiques every live stream ending in 0. So the next live stream, or the next critique live stream, will be 80, live stream 80. So you can send me art and just send the subject, you know, make the subject critique for live stream 80. But definitely check out my website. I got some art on there for sale: watercolors, gouache paintings, Also have a support page. You can donate to me on there, or join on Patreon, or check out my music that I make on Bandcamp. Yeah, check that out. Or you can become a member here on YouTube, support me that way. But yeah, just check out my website. All the info is on there to contact me. So yeah, live stream number 80 will be the next critique. So just send me an email or whatever with the subject for live stream number 80 or for critique number 80, and I'll save it away, and we'll do it on the next 10 live streams. And usually I live stream, I'm trying to do a live stream every day. So I know it seems like, oh wow, 9 more live streams until the next one, but they can go by pretty quickly. So just be patient, folks. Stay tuned, and we'll keep learning here together with these streams. No problem, everybody. I hope it was helpful. I hope everybody enjoyed it. And if anybody has any questions real quick, last minute here, let me know. I'll stay on for another 2 minutes or so. So the next live stream will be a pen and ink live stream. I just did a watercolor yesterday. So the next live stream is pen and ink. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but something on my list here. The next watercolor one, I want to try to do a color mixing. I think the next watercolor one, I'll do color mixing and also some small color studies. So we'll talk about color on the next watercolor live stream. That's my plan for the next watercolor live stream. But tomorrow, if I do a live stream, it's going to be pen and ink. And then the next one will be watercolor. We'll do all about color. So that'll be cool. That could be a cool topic, I think. Next live stream is pen and ink. Pen and ink with probably an animal drawing or landscape or something. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, I can do I'll do some architecture. I could do some pen and ink and architecture. I'll try to figure that out. But anyway, guys, I think I'm going to stop streaming here, and I'm going to read up tonight on how to make these streams better. I think maybe tomorrow I'm going to downgrade the streaming quality to 720p. Not going to be the best, but I think 720p is still good. It's not like it's horrible quality. We'll see if that improves the quality of all these streams, so that they're not as stuttery and not as jittery. I want a smoother experience, so I'm going to work on that, because it seems my internet connection, either my laptop or my internet connection, can't handle what I'm doing right now. So I got to figure out something. Last resort, I'll invest, and I'll save up and invest in a new laptop that has way more power. I may need to get like a Windows laptop or something. I don't know. I don't really want to get a desktop computer, but this only has like 16 gigabyte of RAM, like 2.5 gigahertz i5 core or something. I don't know. It's a 2015 laptop, so it's a little old. I feel like I should invest in something a little more updated that I can dedicate just to streaming. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. But thanks for watching. Peace.